Dude, can you believe this is episode like 67?
Yeah, it's interesting. It is, but sometimes we include the interviews as episodes, and sometimes we don't. And so, yeah, we're around there. But
yeah,
when did we start? Was it March?
May. It was May.
May.
So dude, I think we're almost at 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year mark.
Almost the 1 year mark of KOTC.
What kind of party should we throw for that?
We should do a 1 year party. What a ride!
Okay. All right, we are going. Welcome back, everybody, to yet another episode of King of the Court. We are your host. I am Tyler, and we got
Jimmy Miller
in the house on his phone.
I was looking for I have a picture of us, our very first episode somewhere.
So we were just talking. I think we started this podcast last May, around there. So it's coming up on a year.
Yeah.
Give us ideas on what we should do to celebrate, or if we should have anybody special come on the show.
Yeah. Let's do a 1 year party.
Okay, let's do it. First and foremost, we'd like to give a big shout out to our
First episode.
He's showing us the picture of the very first episode.
Right.
Big shout out to our title sponsor of this show, King of the Court. It would not be possible without them. The Pickler. They are the leading indoor pickleball facility in the world. We talk about this every time, but they are the only company out there that has sold over 300 locations.
I got in trouble.
You got in trouble for what?
For breaking the Canada news before they did.
Whoopsies.
Sorry, Catherine.
Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we love the Pickler. If you've ever been to a Pickler, you know why it's the number one. Like, there's no comparison. It's not this.
Their new locations, they call them Pickler 2.0s.
Yeah.
And those will all be spec'd out to the highest degree.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. I mean, there's TVs on every court. There's, plenty of space. Every court's championship court. Come to MLP Salt Lake and you'll be able to see like the ultimate Pickler.
Exactly. All right. So thank you for your support. If you're interested in being a part of the pickleball business, especially indoor pickleball courts, go check them out at pickler.com and use code KOTC. Tell them that we sent you and we will give you guys a shout out on the show if you franchise with them.
I just had somebody reach out who we both know, won't say any names, and they are talking about opening a Pickler in yet another country.
Let's go. Worldwide.
Yeah.
We love it. Also, big shout out to our next sponsor, Pickleball Central. They are the leading online retailer in pickleball equipment and products. Any pickleball paddle that you want, go check them out. You can use code KOTC. Code KOTC works on most products, not all of them, but most products, and it will give you the best discount code out there available. Also, there is a special release with Paddle Tech. Christian Alshon has his new paddle.
Yes.
And only Pickleball Central has it available at this moment.
Yeah. And I have hit with it. I was able to demo all 6 of the new Paddle Tech paddles. So every thickness, the bantam,
What are your initial thoughts?
Dude, it's a rocket. Like,
that's how all paddles are these days. Crazy, yeah.
But Paddle Tech is back. They're back in the game.
Yeah.
They're really impressive. I think that most people are like, they're going to love them.
Cool.
So,
yeah, that's awesome. Congrats to Christian Alshon and Paddle Tech. But yeah, go check them out at pickleballcentral.com and use code KOTC. All right. So this week feels weird. Well, I was going to say we have it off, but that's not true because MLP starts this week for most teams.
Yes. So there's 5 teams that aren't going to be there.
Mm-hmm. And this is going to be in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, in Atlanta, Lifetime, Peachtree Corners.
Mm-hmm.
The Black Bears won't be there.
Nope.
The Black Diamonds won't be there.
Nope.
I want to say Night Owls won't be there. Basically the West Coast teams, it feels like. Mm-hmm. Well, the Breakers are going. But anyways, 5 teams won't be there. Those teams will start in DC in June. But finally, Tyler.
Finally.
We haven't had a full MLP event since September.
Yeah.
Of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Which was Atlanta.
No, it was Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Dallas was the last full one. So that was November or October, something like that. So that was the last full MLP event.
Yeah.
And now we're back.
Does Kuhn make an appearance, do you think?
I mean, he should.
In the bushes, just hiding. People.
Hiding, like
that'd be awesome.
Looking through, he's got binoculars out. Maybe he kicks it on Annalie's bus and watches. So, yeah, should we do a little MLP preview?
Yeah, so this one's going to be a little bit different because we don't have the PPA tournament. The PPA preview that we will do will be in about a week from now.
Yeah, because MLP is actually before PPA.
Exactly.
In this one. They're both in the same location, but PPA is actually following MLP in this one. So a lot of these players, if you want to hang out with pro players, see pro players, get to Atlanta because they're going to be there for about a week or more.
Okay, so we will just go to MajorLeaguePickleball.net and just go through
is
their
Atlanta
schedule.
At progression?
Yes.
So they're going to have MLP and progression draw?
Yep.
So those players are going to be there for 10 days.
Yeah, or more.
Or more, yeah. So,
yep.
Wow.
Okay, so we are at MajorLeaguePickleball.net and we are just going through the schedule. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're only going to do the premier level matches for now, just to save on time. And then also, he is the president of the challenger team, the Black Bears. So we don't want him to.
We don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, say too much there. New York Hustlers, obviously based in New York City, and then Columbus Sliders.
So Hustlers, let's talk about Hustlers.
Jack Sock,
Leah Jansen, Jackie Kawamoto,
and CJ Klinger.
And CJ Klinger making his Premier League debut versus Riley Newman, Megan Dazan, Connor Garnett. Go check out his interview that he just did with us. It's premiering as we speak.
Yep.
And Brooke Buckner.
Yep. What are your thoughts?
I mean, these teams are actually pretty evenly matched. I feel like Jack Sock is the great unknown in MLP. I think his energy.
I think CJ will be also unknown.
And CJ's an unknown in MLP. Exactly. Now, he is a MVP, but he's a Challenger League MVP in a shortened season. So this is a big moment for CJ because the reality is he's never played this level of competition consistently.
In MLP.
Yeah. So for me, if I look at these teams, I break it down. Hustlers, women's doubles, I say Leah and Jackie beat Megan and Brooke.
Okay. And once to reiterate, these are games to 25 rally scoring, no freeze. Then Dream Breaker, if it goes to that.
They're to 15 right 15. Now. I hope they make that change because I think 15 to Dream Breaker is a terrible decision.
Okay.
I think it's horrible. That takes away essentially your first two people in Dream Breakers are really.
Yeah. Somebody was talking to me and they're like, we would never see Annalie versus Tyler or something like that.
No.
Which I don't know if it's true because
Annalie might be the one
exception. Yeah.
But for the most part, you probably won't see that. You're probably going to see guy.
Yeah.
So women's doubles, I give the edge to Leah and Jackie. Okay. Mixed doubles. So I think that we're going to see Jack, and this is what's interesting because I think Leah's better on the right than Jackie is because Jackie's used to playing with her sister. Now Jackie's a good right side player as well. But do we see Jack and Jackie or do we see Jack and Leah? And because CJ's a lefty. And CJ, I think what I would do is I'd go Jack and Jackie.
Yes. I think Jack Sock needs somebody a little just very steady.
Yep.
That's not going to miss too much. That's not going to create too much offense because Jack has the offense. He doesn't need somebody else creating it for him.
Yep.
Whereas on the other side, flip side, Leia's going to create a lot of offense.
Yeah. So I would say Jack and Jackie are one mixed team, and then the other mixed team is going to be CJ and Leah. That's my prediction. We'll see. And then the Columbus, we talked to Connor Garnett about this. He thinks it's going to be him and Megan.
Yeah.
Possibly. And then Riley and Brooke. What do you think?
I would maybe think the opposite.
I would think the opposite too, because I think that what it does is it gives you a sure number one alpha team with Riley and Megan.
Yeah.
And that's where I don't want to say you get your guaranteed win, but that's where you get your best chance to get a win.
Yeah.
So I would say that they send out Riley and Megan versus Jack and Jackie.
Okay.
So if they do that, I do give the edge to Riley and Megan there.
Okay, so going back to the guys, or did we do the guys just barely? Jack and CJ?
We haven't done the guys yet. We've just done mixed.
Okay.
There, we'll go with the guys at the end. And then Brooke and Connor Garnett versus CJ and Leah will be very interesting. Because one, Brooke's never been on the stage either. She has, but
yeah, I think she has enough experience.
But I think CJ Klinger is a great mixed player, and he gets to play with Leia.
How tall is he?
I think he's like 6. He's growing. Every time I see him, he's tall. He's got to be like 6'5".
Oh my gosh.
And he's just growing, and he's long. And now you have Leia on the.
Yeah.
Leia's not short.
Yeah.
That's a lot of length.
Yeah.
And Connor and Brooke, no offense, aren't the tallest.
Yeah.
So, the only thing that I think though with that is CJ playing the right. He's going to be head up with Connor, and Connor's Tui is going to be to CJ's backhand.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's going to be tough for CJ to handle.
Yeah.
But I think Leia and CJ pulled that one off.
Okay.
So I think going into men's, it's going to be, I mean, men's will probably be first, but I'm just saying if we were going that route, going into men's, it's going to be 2-1 Hustlers.
Okay.
And we get to the men's match, and I think Riley and Connor have a big advantage over Jack and CJ.
Okay.
So I could see this match going 2-2 and heading to a Dream Breaker.
And then Hustlers would probably be preferred in the Dream Breaker, right?
To 15, the Hustlers have got to be the better Dream Breaker team with Jack and Leia.
Yeah.
And then, CJ's fine. Jackie's fine.
You would go Leia? Jack and Leia, you think?
Yeah. Over CJ?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
CJ plays singles, though.
I know, but I think that's tough because you go Connor and Jack. So we're forgetting about Connor.
Yeah.
And then you go Riley and CJ, you think? Or do you put Leia against Riley?
I mean, Riley used to play singles, and he was decent. He was a top 10, 15
But he doesn't
player.
like you because you beat him at singles.
Well, there was other people that beat him, too.
That's tough. Who do you put out there?
I don't know.
Well, Brooke Buckner's good at singles, too.
Yeah.
So Brooke could play against Leia. So maybe Columbus, I mean... Really, I think the top two on both sides, like Leia, I think Leia, you give Leia an advantage over Brooke, and I think you give Connor an advantage over Jack, slightly.
Slightly, but in this Dream Breaker format, I mean, it's literally to 4 points.
Yeah.
Each time.
And then Riley versus CJ.
Yeah.
And Jackie versus Megan.
Yeah.
I mean, that's close. I will say that the Hustlers pull it out.
3-2?
3-2 in a Dream Breaker.
Okay.
Wow. That was a lot. If every one of them's like this, we're going to be here all day.
Okay, moving on. I don't know if you have this one as well.
I'm just going to follow yours.
Columbus Sliders, so that same team we just talked about, versus Texas Ranchers.
Okay.
So on the Ranchers, that's JW.
Yep.
And Tardio? No.
Georgia. Tyra
and Augie. Yeah.
So Augie gets his first taste of MLP at all.
Yep.
So we'll go women's first. Georgia and Tyra against Megan and Brooke Buckner. I got to give a slight edge to Georgia and Tyra there. I think that Megan and Brooke are a good team, but I feel like Georgia and Tyra are going to be athletic. They're fast. I think Tyra's going to play the left and Georgia's going to play the right. That'll be really interesting. But I'm going to give the Ranchers the win in women's.
Okay.
In men's, J-Dub and Augie against CJ. So we have lefty, righty, lefty, righty.
Yeah.
CJ and Riley. I've never seen J-Dub and Augie play, but Augie's obviously playing very well. I think Augie and CJ are going to be very similar. So it's going to be who plays better between Riley and JW. And I'm going to say that J-Dub and Augie get the win.
Wow. Okay. I like it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, dude. It's Riley and Connor. Not CJ, yes. But still, I think Augie and J-Dub get the win.
Yeah.
And then we go to mixed doubles.
Okay.
So if it's Riley and Megan.
It's got to be J-Dub and Georgia.
Yeah, against Riley and Megan, right?
And then Augie and
Tyra.
Yep. Which they have been playing a little bit more recently.
Yeah. I mean, J-Dub and Georgia are going to win that. They're going to win theirs. And then I think that Connor and Brooke will beat Tyra and Augie.
Okay.
And so the Ranchers win at 3-1.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So Columbus is 0-2 on day one in my eyes so far.
Connor is not going like you.
But yeah.
Okay. How do we see more of these matches? So is that all there is for day one?
Yeah. So that's all I had for day one too, is just 2 matches. I had 2 different matches, but that was it.
Okay, moving on. All right, yeah, this is where a lot more teams come into play.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the New Jersey Fives.
So Annalie, Mari Humberg, Will Howells, and Zane Navratil.
Yep.
Is it so fitting?
Why'd you put Zane at the bottom?
Well, it's just fitting he gets to dress as a clown because he does it on a daily basis. Just kidding, Zane.
Ouch.
And they will take on the Hustlers. Jack Sock, Leia, Jackie, CJ.
Okay. So who do you have in their women's coming out on top?
So Annalie and Mari against Jackie and Leia. I still think Jackie and Leia beat them. I think Annalie's great, but she's not great in MLP. Humberg has not had much experience. She's still a little bit raw. She's going to hit those freaking slice everything. I think Jackie and Leia will handle it just fine. I say the Hustlers women's pull that one out.
Okay.
In men's, we have Zane and Will Howells against Jack and CJ.
Yeah.
That's tough because Will Howells can get hot and Zane is an MLP. Like, he's a legend in MLP, let's be honest. Zane is a great MLP player. I'm going to give the fives a slight edge there. I'm going to say the fives get the win. That's tough, though. I do think the Hustlers could beat them.
Yeah,
the Hustlers could win this 4-0.
That's sixes. That's 50-50.
Yeah. First mixed match, Jack and Jackie against Annalie and Zane is what I would assume. Or do you think that they'll throw Howells in there with Annalie and just try to overpower people?
I kind of see them... doing Annalie and Will just because they also live in Florida. And so I'm sure they've been practicing together.
If they go Annalie and Will, I like Jack and Jackie to pull off the win. And if they go Annalie and Zane, I could see them getting the W.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say Jack and Jackie get the win there.
Okay.
Second mixed match, CJ and Leia against Mari and Zane. Again, it's crazy because it's all about how CJ does and all about how there's so many unknowns. How Mari Humberg does. So I'll say that the fives get that one.
Okay.
Which puts us at 2-2.
Okay.
Dreambreaker.
Who do you got?
That fives team is really, really good in the Dreambreaker. That might be the best Dreambreaker team. Annalie.
Does Mari play?
Zane. I think she plays a little bit, but Howells. Annalie, Zane, and Howells are...
Yeah.
That's a really good
So who do you do
team.
as your top two?
Howells and Zane.
Howells over Zane?
Howells... Yeah, I'll go Zane, then Howells, then Annalie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good Dreambreaker team.
So you think they end up winning 3-2?
I think they win 3-2 in a Dreambreaker.
I thought you just said they might win 4-0.
They could win 4-0, but I think that...
but they also might lose 3-2.
They also might lose 3-2. But the Hustlers, if the Hustlers won 4-0, it wouldn't shock me.
Covering all the bases.
But
I like it.
My prediction is the fives pull it out. Okay. Which is crazy because I don't
So it's not the 4-0 that you predicted earlier.
No, I said they could. There's potential.
So your final statement is 3-2, the fives.
The fives in a Dreambreaker, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think the fives are going to be
You're forgetting about the X Factor. Who? Gary V, Lee Waters. Gary V, and Ryan Harwood. Yeah.
Yeah. Those uniforms are the X Factor. They're horrible.
All right, moving on. So we got New York Hustler. Man, it seems like they're playing back to back to back.
Yeah, the Hustlers just play nonstop and then they sit for 2 days.
All right, we got the Hustlers versus Dallas Pickleball
so
Club.
Dallas is Tina Pisnick.
Wait, isn't it the Flash now? Dallas.
Oh yeah, the Flash.
The Flash.
Yeah, remember the Utah Flash?
Yeah.
Okay,
so who's on Dallas Pickleball Club?
Dallas, Tina Pisnick, Christian Alshon with his new paddle, Pablo Tejas,
and Etta Wright.
Yeah, that's a good team.
I think that's like literally a top 3 team.
Yeah. The Kitchen thinks it's a D-.
I don't understand that. Yeah.
I think that's a top 3 team too.
Yeah.
So the Hustlers, man,
on paper, especially with Tina's recent performance.
Yeah. So you have Tina and Etta against Leia and Jackie. That's might be the best matchup of the day. That's great. Like that's a gold medal level matchup. That's tough. I think Leia and Jackie keep rolling in the women's side of things and they pick up the dub.
Man, Tina and Etta over Tina and Etta?
I know. It'll be interesting.
The only thing is I don't know. I mean, everyone can say whatever, together, but right? I don't know if Etta and maybe even Tina love rally scoring.
Yeah.
Rally scoring, it's so different.
Yeah.
And so for some play styles.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Men's. So in men's, we're going to go Jack and CJ against Christian and Pablo.
Yeah.
Again, lefty righty.
The only thing is, I think Jack Sock might be a little bit under Alshon in his head, a little bit.
He could be, but I think Pablo's that steady presence too. And I think Pablo is ahead of CJ, and I actually think Christian's ahead of Jack right now. So I'm going to say that Dallas wins the men's.
Okay.
So mixed will be interesting because do you go Christian and Etta, or do you go because Tina loves the left and she's used to playing with lefties?
I would imagine Pablo and Etta.
Because they've played together?
They've played together.
And
Etta also plays the left.
I know, but Tina is way more of a left side player than Etta can play both.
Etta plays the left with Megan.
I know, but she plays in mix. She plays with Ben. She
does both. I'm playing with her in Atlanta, and she'll be playing the left.
That'll be interesting. I don't know who they're going with yet.
Yeah.
So, but I think that Dallas has the advantage in both mixed matches anyways.
They should in doubles, but if it were to go to a Dream Breaker, Hustler's pretty hard.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty hard.
I mean, Pablo's decent. Christian's good at singles, but he actually seems like he's struggled a little bit in MLP singles. And then Etta and Tina are they're not, singles is not their strong suit. So Hustlers would definitely have the advantage, but I think Dallas wins this 3-1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, moving on. We have that same team, Dallas Pickleball Club versus Texas Ranchers.
Ooh, who owns the state? Who owns it? All right. So Dallas, again, Etta. I think Etta and Tina beat Tyra and Georgia.
Okay.
In men's doubles, that's actually a good match because you have Christian and Pablo, again, lefty righty.
Yep.
Lefty righty against Augie and J-Dub. I'm going to say Augie and J-Dub get that one.
Okay.
So we're 1-1. We head into our mixed match. And Christian, you think it's going to be Christian and Tina?
I could see that. I could see both ways, but I feel like it would be that way.
So if it's Christian and Tina.
Also, they both live in Florida, and who knows if they've been training together.
Yeah. Well, they're all in Texas right now.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's Christian and Tina against J-Dub and Georgia, man, that's tough. I'm going to say J-Dub and Georgia get that win.
Okay, the only thing, and I've said this before, is they're incredible players, but I don't think they've had incredible success in MLP format.
So Georgia had really good success with Rettenmeyer actually last year. Oddly enough, her numbers were off the charts. So, and Travis's, according to Real Clear Stats, Travis is one of the best players in MLP last year. But Georgia also had really high numbers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you never know. Like this is the best part about MLP.
Yeah.
Throw it all out. Like if this was a PPA event, if it was a PPA event, who do you take? Do you take Christian and Tina or J-Dub and Georgia? What are your thoughts?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So who do you have winning?
So I'm going to say J-Dub and Georgia win that.
Okay.
And then in the second mixed match, Augie and Tyra against Pablo and Etta. Pablo and Etta win that one.
Okay.
And so we go to Dream Breaker.
Who do you have in Dream Breaker?
I mean, I feel like J-Dub, Georgia, Tyra, and Augie is a better Dream Breaker team than...
That's tough. Yeah. And J-Dub, I think, actually does pretty well in Dream Breakers.
Yeah. So I would say Texas wins that in a Dream Breaker.
Okay. 3-2. All right. Moving on. We have Texas Ranchers versus the St. Louis Shock. This is their first match, and it's on Friday on Championship Court at 1 p.m.
So Anna Bright.
Anna Bright.
Kate Fahey making her debut.
Okay.
Hayden Patriquin.
Gabe Tardio.
And Gabe Tardio.
Yep.
Unfortunately, in this one, J-Dub has Tardio's number. I feel like he does. In women's, Anna and Fahey against Tyra and Georgia.
So this is bad, but I can't even picture Kate right now.
Yeah.
I haven't seen much video of her.
She's a tennis player. She's played in the Big Ten.
Okay.
She's okay. I mean, she is not where Rachel... They're trying to recapture the Rachel Rohrbacher thing.
Yeah.
She's not as far along as Rachel Rohrbacher was. And so Kate has a lot of work to do. And maybe by the end of the season, she will be where she needs to be. But I think they're going to struggle early. I really do. And I don't think Anna... Like, we watched Anna play at Red Rock with Callie. And Anna didn't play big. She wasn't playing big. And they were cross-court dinking Callie over and over and over again.
Yep.
And just out-dinked her. And Anna never played big, never really stepped in. And that's what she's got to do with Kate. And I don't know if she has that in her.
Who's the alpha for the male on the male side? Tardio or Hayden?
Hayden.
Hayden?
Hayden's got to be the alpha.
Really?
Who plays the left? It's got to be Hayden.
Yeah, but I mean, he normally plays right. But I'm talking about like just because someone plays the right doesn't mean they're not the alpha.
I think it's got to be Hayden. Here's the thing with Hayden and Tardio. They might beat you 25-5, and they might lose 25-5. But they can get hot, and they can
get very hot
and beat anybody.
Yes,
and they're unorthodox.
Yep.
And in a one-off rally scoring to 25 match, those two could beat anybody.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say in women's doubles, the Shock lose. The Ranchers get that one. In men's doubles, Hayden and Tardio versus J-Dub and Augie. I'm going to say Hayden and Tardio get that. Even though J-Dub has Tardio's number.
I would take the opposite.
Okay.
I would take Augie, my guy.
Your guy.
My best friend.
Now he's your guy.
My best friend and J-Dub.
So 1-1.
Yeah.
I have it as 1-1. In mixed.
Wait, didn't you just say they would lose? Anna would lose?
Yeah. And then.
So that'd be 2. Well.
Men's would win.
Gotcha.
So I have it 1-1.
Gotcha. So I have it 2-0.
Yeah. So who does Anna play with? She play with Tardio or does she play with Hayden? I'm guessing she plays with Tardio. The only reason I say that is because again,
we're making so many speculations.
We have to. But they're in Florida. They can train together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think that Hayden can play bigger than Gabe in mixed. So if he plays with Fahey, he can play bigger.
I think both the guys can play pretty big.
Yeah. But I'm going to say Anna and Tardio against J-Dub and Georgia.
Who's winning that
J-Dub and Georgia win that.
Okay.
And then I think Fahey and Hayden lose to Tyra and Augie. 3-1 Ranchers.
Okay. All right. Last match of the day on Friday, Championship Court, 3:00. We got New Jersey Fives.
Yep.
Versus the Los Angeles Mad Drops, Drew Brees' team.
The Fives were literally the Mad Drops would have been one of my number one teams had they chosen someone else their last pick.
Yeah. So let's start with women's doubles.
So Annalie and Humberg taking on Catherine Printo and Jade Kawamoto. That's actually a good matchup. But I like Jade and Catherine to pull that out. Catherine can play the left, right? Jade's lefty. 2 forehands in the middle. Like I said, I don't think anyone at this level is going to struggle with Mari's cut slice shots. So I say women's, it's Mad Drops pick up the W.
Okay. Mad Drops lead 1-0. Go on to men's doubles.
Hunter and Thomas against Zane and Will Howells is really interesting to me because I just feel like that's the Mad Drops Achilles heel. And so I'm going to say that Zane and Will Howells pick up the W there.
Okay. Will Howells and Hunter are somewhat similar. It seems like they both can get streaky. They're both great at singles.
Yeah.
They haven't had as much success in doubles.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they're both.
But neither one of them, like Hunter's always playing with Yates, right? And so maybe with Hunter playing with Thomas, and they know each other well. They're close friends. They live in New Braunfels and train together. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, Catherine and Thomas are going to play together in mixed, right? That gives you alpha number 1.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of goes back to, do you want to have as much of a sure shot win, or do you want to try to spread it out? And
that's why you maybe adjust it, right?
Yeah.
If you're down 0-2, then you're like, okay, we got to throw out Catherine and Thomas.
Yeah.
If you're 1-1 or you're up 2-0, you may throw out Catherine and and Hunter, and then throw out Thomas and Jade.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think that the women are strong either way.
Yeah.
Whoever gets Thomas, whether it's Thomas and Jade or Thomas and Catherine, they should have an advantage over the other team in 80% of the matches.
Okay.
But I think they throw out Catherine and Thomas.
So let's say Catherine and Thomas play.
Yeah.
Against Annalie and Will.
Catherine and Thomas get the win.
Okay.
And then in the second one, Zane and Mari take on Hunter and Jade. I think Zane and Mari get that one.
Okay.
But that puts us at 3-1.
Okay.
Mad Drops.
Say this one goes to a Dream Breaker. Who wins Dream Breaker? Fives?
Fives, yeah. Fives are the favorites in the Dream Breaker for sure. I mean, Jade's not great at singles.
Okay.
She'll be the first to tell you that. Catherine's fine, but Annalie's still better.
Yeah.
Zane is better than Thomas and Hunter.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, Hunter might be your number one.
He would probably be the number one. Yeah.
Your number one. Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. Real quick, we're going to take a pause before we go into the Saturday schedule with a big shout out to our next sponsor, C&D Pickleball Nets.
C&D.
Jimmy, do you have any updates with C&D?
So C&D had a couple things. So they went to City Pickle.
Yep, we announced that last time.
We announced that
3-year deal with them.
3-year deal, so permanent courts. Second thing was what's pretty awesome about C&D, or well, with our partnership with C&D, is that I got a call from somebody over the weekend, and they were talking to me about they went to some sort of, I don't even know what it was, convention type thing for pickleball, and they literally said that like everybody was talking about our podcast and
C&D nets
simultaneously, like, oh, those are the nets on KOTC, or you know, or you guys have a contract with KOTC. And I kind of love that we are paired with C&D, and that we are, what's the word that I'm thinking of?
Associated, partnered,
associated, synonymous.
Yeah.
Is that a right word?
Yeah.
With C&D, number one podcast, synonymous with the number one net. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, C&D, like we've talked about it. Thebestpickleballnets.com is their website. That's their website for a reason. Go check them out. Use our code. You guys won't be sorry. Your nets aren't going to fall down mid-match. They're not just going to snap off randomly like some other nets. I posted a video of a net at a PPA event that literally just fell apart. And I actually had 6, 7, maybe 8 pro players on the PPA tour tell me that the net that fell apart, they suck. I'm not going to mention who it is or what it is or what it was, but C&D, that doesn't happen. Check them out. They're worth every penny.
It's going to be awkward if it ever does happen in the future.
It won't. Thebestpickleballnets.com.
You're going to get people jumping on the net now.
It won't if it is properly taken care of. I actually had the person text me who was in that match, playing in that match. And he's like, I've never seen that before. And it's actually, Gavin Fowler? It was Gavin Fowler. And he's like, I've never seen that before. I said, dude, you're hitting too many net courts. He's like, it's all my power.
Yeah.
So anyways,
those new paddles.
Check out C&D Nets, thebestpickleballnets.com.
Okay. Is it the last day? No,
they go, last day of pool play.
Yeah, last day of pool play. Okay, so Saturday.
Well, remember, there's not a finals.
There's not a final anymore. Yeah, so
there's not a finals anymore.
Okay, so Saturday morning we got 9 a.m. New Jersey Fives.
So the Drive don't play until Saturday.
Jeez, where'd the Drive come from? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Fives versus Arizona Drive. Which Arizona Drive? Who do they have?
Daskew.
Okay.
Dylan Frazier.
Okay.
Lacey Schneeman.
Okay.
Caitlin Christian.
Okay.
Is it impressive that I know this off the top of my head?
Yeah, there's so many different teams. All right, who do you got for women's doubles? Who's coming out?
Women's doubles, we've got Schneeman and Lacey taking on Annalie and Mari.
Schneeman and Caitlin.
And it's Annalie. Annalie's the X factor. Fives win that one easily.
Okay.
Easily. Smash them.
Okay, men's doubles.
Men's doubles, Daskew and Dylan against Will Howes and Zane. I got to give that to Dylan and Daskew.
Okay.
I'm not sure Dylan and Daskew lose this year. Now they're going to go like 0-8, but
they'll lose a match. It's rally scoring.
But I think they're going to be really good.
Yeah. Okay, mixed doubles.
So this is interesting. Who goes where? Again, I think Daskew plays with Caitlin Christian.
I would say Lacey.
Really?
To me, it seems like Lacey pulls the trigger a little bit more, and Daskew can be there kind of that steady Eddie.
Could be. But I think Daskew does, like, he just plays with
I would think that. And then Dylan plays with Caitlin? Lacey.
Oh, with Lacey.
No, with Caitlin.
Oh, okay.
Yes, with Caitlin.
I think Daskew with Caitlin only because he does what, like, look what him and Martina Frantova just did. He can play bigger than Dylan.
Yeah. I didn't watch any of those matches, so I don't know. I mean, obviously he had
Frantova to bronze.
Top 3, top 4. Yeah, that's
to a bronze
incredible
match. Yeah. They lost in the bronze, but still.
Yeah.
So either way, I think that both of those mixed teams it's going to go however Daskew and Dylan do. Whoever gets Lacey is slightly better.
Okay.
So we'll go with what you say, and it's Daskew and Lacey.
Okay.
They will beat whoever the Fives number 1 is. And then I think that whoever has Caitlin.
You think they'll beat Annalie?
Yeah. Daskew and Lacey against Annalie and who?
Will Howes?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You don't think?
I don't think it's as sure as you're saying it is. I would honestly say like 50-50.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, Arizona had a 7-run lead in the 9th inning, and then they freaking drafted horribly down the stretch.
Yeah.
And they blew it. Like
TBD.
TBD, but on paper they could have had the best team.
on paper.
So I think this one, I think the mixed matches split and we go to Dream Breaker.
Who wins Dream Breaker?
It's interesting because Daescu is actually a good Dream Breaker player. Better than you think.
Yeah, he used to do a lot of singles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dylan's obviously good at singles.
Yeah.
Lacey's solid at singles.
Yeah.
She's not bad. And
Funny
Caitlin,
story. Many moons years ago, I played Daescu in nationals, and he ended up beating me it was a very controversial match, very heated match. And then this is when you come back through the back draw.
Yeah.
And I come back through and I end up playing him, and then I ended up beating him.
You double dipped them?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But it was a crazy match.
So Daescu.
But he's good in singles. Yeah.
So that's actually a good singles team. You don't think it is, but Daescu,
Yeah.
Dylan,
Yep.
Lacey's solid,
Yep.
and Caitlin Christian's really good.
So who do you go your top two? Dylan and Daescu?
Daescu and then Caitlin and then Lacey.
Yeah.
Versus Zane, Will, Annalie, and Mari.
Which actually, Caitlin's done well against Annalie. She hasn't beaten her, but she's had close
points. But for 4 points.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm going to say Arizona wins that in a Dream Breaker.
Wow. I feel like you'd have to give the edge to New Jersey in a Dream Breaker.
For sure. I think so too. I think Arizona's going to pull it out.
But I thought you just said...
I'm just making predictions, Tyler.
Yes, but you can't go back on your predictions.
I'm not. Someone's writing these down. Everything I say is freaking gospel truth over here.
Okay, moving on. DC Pickleball team with your favorite GM or coach versus Columbus Sliders.
Yeah, that's honestly DC. It looks good on paper, but their coaching is horrific. It's horrible.
So who's their coaching?
Kyle McKenzie.
Who else is up there? There's
Josh Gartman.
No, there's one other guy. He's maybe more management.
Al Tylis?
No, below him.
Who?
He knows who I'm talking about. I can't remember his name, but really nice guy.
Oh, I love Gartman.
Yeah.
Al's a good dude.
Yeah.
McKenzie's a disaster.
Okay. Moving on. All right. So DC has James Ignatowicz. They picked him with the number 4 pick.
Yeah.
Or 3 pick.
It was early, 4, I think.
Yeah. So they got him.
Yeah.
Who else?
They have Deckel.
Yes.
They have Elise Jones.
Uh-huh.
And who's their other girl? Dude, see, you got me.
DC Pickleball.
I got it. Their other girl's good, though. I know it is because Elise was their last pick.
Elise was the last pick. She was like 47 or so.
Yeah, so the other girl is actually a solid. Oh, Rohrabacher. That's a good team, dude.
Yeah.
That team's stacked.
On paper.
Yeah, that's a good team.
We're making so many caveats. Okay, versus Columbus Sliders. So that is Riley's former team.
Yeah.
So do you think he'll get chirpy? He has to.
Yeah.
He loves that.
And him and Al are buddies, Al Tylis. So yeah, Riley's he's gonna chirp.
Yeah.
So Riley and Connor against
Okay, women's doubles.
Okay, we'll go women's. Rohrabacher and Elise versus Megan and Brooke. That's a good matchup.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that Megan and Brooke pull it out. On paper, though, I think Rohrabacher,
I would say that as well.
Yeah. Megan and Brooke pull that out.
Yeah. Men's,
James and Deckel are just going to be monsters on the court. Like, they're going to take up a lot of court.
Yeah.
And James can play the right just fine. Mm-hmm. Deckel's counters might be the best in the game.
Deckel's been playing extremely well the past 3 months.
And James is coming. James hasn't. Let's just call it what it is.
He's been, on the opposite.
If James can get back to where he was, before his injury, Deckel and James will be tough to beat. So I'm going to say Deckel and James get Connor and Riley.
I would say the other. I would take Connor and Riley.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then mixed. I mean, do you go James and Rachel? Or do you go Deckel and Rachel and James and Elise? I go Deckel and Elise.
Yeah.
Because Elise, she's steady.
Yeah, she played with James last season,
Yeah.
and I don't know how successful they were. I think they did okay. I don't think it was great, but...
And Deckel can pull the trigger as much as he wants and have Elise there to help reset.
Yeah.
And Deckel might...
Well, also Elise likes the right, too.
Yes.
And Deckel will be playing left.
And Deckel might play the biggest of anybody in mixed. Deckel and James, honestly.
Yeah.
Those two, I mean, dude, you watch Deckel play with Tina and...
Yeah.
He's taking the whole court.
Yeah.
So I would say that Deckel and Elise play and then James and Rachel play. So if James and Rachel take on Riley and Megan, that's really good. That's must-see TV. I'm going to say Riley and Megan get that.
Okay.
And then in Deckel and Elise take on Connor and Brooke. Deckel and Elise win, which heads us to Dreambreaker.
Game to 15.
Game to 15. So James, really bad in Dreambreakers.
I would say Columbus in this one.
Yeah, he's bad in Dreambreakers.
Yeah.
Deckel, he's okay, but he has the thing with James and Deckel, the advantage they have, or their one hope, is that to 4 points, they have massive serves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? But they can also miss those.
Did you know, I don't know if it was Duper or somebody posted like the top 5 ranked players on the Duper score, and Deckel, he hasn't played singles in like 2, maybe 3 years. He was still up there. He was like number 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. I don't think DC is a very good singles Dreambreaker team.
Okay.
James, Deckel, Elise. I mean, they're fine.
Yeah. You'd have to give the edge to
Rachel,
Columbus.
but I would give advantage to Columbus. So Columbus wins that in a Dreambreaker.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. DC versus AZ Drive.
All right. So in this one, I think we'll move through these a little bit quicker, but I think that this is an interesting matchup. I do like, Deckel.
So you have to go DC on the women's doubles.
Women's doubles, you definitely go DC. Men's doubles it's close. Deskew and Dylan versus James and
I'd go AZ.
I think AZ too. So that's 1-1. On the mixed side of it, I would say that whoever gets Rachel wins. Mm-hmm. And then on the other one, Caitlin versus Elite. Gosh, I think DC wins that 3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Squeeze.
Where'd they come from?
Middle of a Saturday, the Squeeze decide to make their debut.
Is this right? It says 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Championship court.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right. So Federico.
Fetty.
Tyson McGuffin, your
former
teammate.
Black Diamonds.
Black Diamond Tyson McGuffin.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
We are not together anymore. We could have been the best team. I'm going to say that right now. And
you think so?
No one will know.
Honestly, you can actually say whatever you want, right?
Exactly.
Like if it was you and Tyson.
I think we would have done much better than people thought.
Will you do better than you and Jay?
I think it's very similar, to be honest.
And then we have Vivian David, Paris Todd. I think that's a good women's team.
It's TBD.
So women's, Vivian David, Paris Todd versus Anna Bright and Kate Fahey. Mm-hmm. I give it to Vivian and Paris.
Yeah.
Now we go Tyson.
How has Paris done in MLP? Because last year she was on the Bouncers.
Yeah, and they were bad.
Yeah.
But she does have a championship with the Black
but that
Bears,
was when nobody was playing.
She was with Zane and them. Yeah, I think Paris is fine. I think she's actually had a pretty good PPA year.
Okay.
Her and Tyra have had some deep runs.
Which tournaments? Which ones?
The last tournament, did they get a bronze or 2 tournaments ago before Red Rock?
I can't remember. Dude, all the tournaments just blend.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I think Tyra and Paris have done pretty well.
Okay.
Vivian's steady. She's really good. She's a good partner for her. So I think that they beat Anna and Kate.
Okay.
In men's, Fed and Tyson versus Hayden and Tardio. Mm-hmm. Man, that's tough, but I got to go Fed and Tyson.
I would think that as well. More so because of rally scoring and just the mental.
Yeah, Fed is Fed's going to be solid. Fed's obviously going to play the left. Tyson can play the right. They can grind out points.
Yeah.
In the first mixed match, are we going to see Fed versus Vivian or Tyson and Paris? Who do we have?
It's got to be Tyson and Paris.
Yeah.
Tyson
and Paris, then Fed and Vivian.
Yeah.
I give the advantage to the Squeeze on both of those.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 3-1 Squeeze.
Okay.
If you can't
St.
tell.
Louis had the number 2 pick or number 3 pick. Yeah, and they went with Anna.
4, yeah.
Okay. All right, moving on. So we have, is this right? 9 p.m. Oh, this is 9 p.m.?
Yeah, so right after.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Why are they only giving them 1 hour for theirs?
I don't know.
I wonder if they're clinching.
That's part of the reason I was told.
Because the other matchups were given 2 hours.
Well, that's part of the reason I was told that Dreambreakers were
to 15
was for TV purposes. So I wonder if this is what this is being streamed on.
Huh.
It's very possible that this is on like Fox
Amazon.
Sports or Amazon or something. Yeah.
Okay, moving on. We got Columbus Sliders and Arizona Drive. Who do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Riley and Connor win the men's. They pick up a upset victory over Deskew and Dylan.
Ooh, that's a big upset. Well, I don't know about big upset.
And then I think that Brooke and Megan win.
Okay.
And I think 3-1 Sliders.
Okay.
Sliders win that one 3-1.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Is this true? A 10 p.m. start time?
Is it 10 p.m.? It
says PT, Pacific. So I
Pacific,
guess
that's midnight, dude. That's 1 in the morning.
That's kind of cool.
Wait, if that's true, because is Atlanta Eastern or Central?
There's no way we're doing a 1 a.m. start time.
Is Atlanta Eastern? Or Central?
No, I think they're Central.
Are they? I think they're Eastern.
No, you might be right. I think they're Eastern.
1 a.m. start time.
That can't be right.
Local time. It maybe, yeah. Anyways. St. Louis and the Mad Drops. At 1 o'clock in the morning. Those young kids.
How many?
Those youngsters, Gabe and Hayden, will be fine. They're up playing Fortnite at that time anyways. So they're fine. Doesn't faze them.
Okay, who do you got? Women's doubles.
Women's doubles. Catherine and Jade against Anna and Kate.
You got to go Mad Drops.
Yeah, Mad Drops for
Okay,
sure.
men's doubles.
Men's doubles, Thomas and Hunter against Gabe and Hayden. I go Gabe and Hayden.
Okay.
Mixed doubles, Anna and Gabe, I'm going to say, against Thomas and Catherine. I'm going to say Anna and Gabe get that one. And then Hayden and Kate against Jade and Hunter. I'm going to say Hayden and Kate get it.
So we're going Dreambreaker?
Dreambreaker. Better Dreambreaker team.
Who do you got?
Shock.
Who do you got for top two? Gabe?
Gabe and Anna.
No, you got Hayden. Hayden, Gabe, Anna.
And then Anna.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Kate.
Gotcha.
And remember, Kate's tennis player. Like, she was all Big Ten, two-time all Big Ten. Like, she's probably fine in Dreambreakers. So St. Louis wins that in a Dreambreaker.
Wow. Hold on. Let's do an applause.
Are we done?
No. Well, with the MLP stuff.
Oh, gosh. That's a lot.
Yeah. So we just recapped everything for this first event. Like you said, there's probably 4 or 5 teams that are not going to be here in Atlanta.
Dude, that's just Saturday. We have one more day.
I thought they weren't doing Sunday.
Oh, you're right. They're not on this one because of progression.
Exactly.
That's right.
Okay. Anything else to look out for this MLP?
Dude, the big thing is we don't know who's going to play with who.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what adjustments are made, what mix adjustments are made, because there's 2 different strategies, right? Do you go with your number 1 alpha mixed team, and then you almost have a sacrificial lamb?
Yeah.
Or do you balance your teams out?
I think it depends on the score at the time.
Yeah. Also, every team has a fatal flaw. Mm-hmm. Every team has that one fatal flaw, and it'll be interesting to see what team.
What is Pioneer's fatal flaw? Andrea Coop, Ben, Colin, and
their fatal flaw is movement.
Movement. Okay.
But
these are only games to 15. Most of those people are 25
rally. Yeah. I mean, Coop and Jesse are fine.
Yeah.
You got to move them around.
Yeah.
Right. Jesse's not moving well anymore. Mm-hmm. Also, is Jesse's going to play the left?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's,
and
also the other thing is
what is the Diamond's fatal flaw?
The other thing is one of those players, real quick, one of those players has to play mixed with Colin. I'm not saying I'm not ripping on Colin, everybody. Calm down. But Colin has got to cover a lot of court if he has Jesse's. He's probably going to have Coop.
Yeah.
He's got to cover some court. So, yeah.
Diamond's fatal flaw.
Diamond's fatal flaw is who's going to be the alpha, number 1. Mm-hmm. Right?
Okay.
And what are your matchups going to be? Because Alex Trong is a right side player.
I think she'll play with Jay.
But Jay and Callie have experience together.
Yeah.
So do you play with Callie and Alex plays with Jay? Have you guys not discussed this? Who is your GM? Who is your coach?
Do you want to be our GM or do you want to be president of Diamonds?
Do you want to win? If you want to win, yes. Like, how have you not discussed this? Here's what we did. We went lefty, righty, so there's no arguments. Yeah. There's no discussions. But if I know Richie, there might be a match where we throw out 2 lefties just for the hell of it.
Why not?
We might throw out
a big
Rafa and Amanda Hendry just for fun.
Yeah.
Just to mess with people.
Rafa says he wants to do lefty. He keeps saying that he wants to do lefty. Anything else to look out for? So I've heard that it should be pretty hot and humid out there at this time. So that'll be a factor.
Were we going to have some squishy balls?
You would think so. I mean, if it's hot and humid, you would think so.
Last time we were in Atlanta, our Airbnb got trashed. Dude, it's not bad.
Really?
Here's the problem. We've got rain on Thursday.
Ooh.
45% chance. Rain on Friday, 40% chance. 81 degrees and 79 degrees.
Okay.
Obviously, there will be humidity. Saturday and Sunday.
You're not going out there, right, this week?
No, we don't play till DC.
Yeah.
Saturday, 73, sunny. But maybe it's not going to rain at 1 a.m. when some of these matches are happening. So
also, we have another two to three more topics to talk about. But first, the next segment of the show is sponsored by Vulcan. There's been still quite a bit of debate, discussion on the topic of paddles and paddle testing and everything like that. Do you have a rant for us, or do you want to discuss this at all?
Yeah. So the biggest issue is there's a lot of talk about why is Yola allowed to get away with what they're basically being allowed to get away with. If everybody's complaining about the power of these paddles, if everybody's complaining, and the rules state that, you can't have foam cores and you can't have the trampoline effect on paddles and all of these things. And listen, dude, I am not a paddle freaking, these paddle dudes, there's dudes out there that they break down every single thing, and that's not me. Okay. I play with a paddle. If it feels good, I keep using it. If it sucks, I move on to the next one. But I know enough, and it just seems like there's a lot of complaints about them and about how they're too powerful. But yeah, everybody's going out and buying them because you've got to keep up. Mm-hmm. And I've also been told, I spoke to, a couple different paddle manufacturers, and they're now coming out with what they're calling power paddles.
You have to
keep
have
up.
Yeah.
And so the question becomes, when is enough enough? Mm-hmm. What are the limitations? Have we reached those? Or is someone just going to go next and next and next? And why were we allowed to get to this place to begin with? Now, the conspiracy theorists out there believe that Yola is a big sponsor of PPA. Mm-hmm. And that's why Yola's been allowed to kind of get away with it, because they're paying a lot of money to PPA, and PPA.
Because initially when this first all happened, do you remember what paddle that was?
The Carbon.
And that essentially got banned.
Yeah. Ben Johns threw a fit and he got it banned. And then he went on Twitter and said that paddles were too powerful. Now, in Ben's defense, it sounds like allegedly he's not using the more powerful Yola.
I think there was a lot of other players too making that.
There were. But when Ben talks, we all listen because he's the GOAT, and Ben has a lot of pull, and I'm not saying Ben was wrong. I'm just saying that Ben has a lot of pull in pickleball. And so it sounds like he's still using the Gen 2. He's not using the Gen 3 is what people are saying. It's just skinned like a Gen 3. And I don't know if that's just personal preference or if he really thinks that, maybe he is taking a stand that the paddles are too powerful.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I don't think that Yola is paying off PPA like people are saying.
Did PPA pay you to say that?
Yeah, they did. I don't think that Selkirk or anybody else, the funniest thing to me is that Selkirk matches these power paddles with the Lux. Mm-hmm. They give you a couch cushion. Yeah. And Yola's out here giving you freaking nukes.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Selkirk used to have some pretty powerful paddles, but no one really talks about those anymore.
No, because they're not powerful anymore compared to everything else that's out. But I bet you that Selkirk, they're going to have to keep up. Yeah. Now, I was told that there is going to be regulations that are coming out. Mm-hmm. You got to remember that UPA is new. It's fresh. I think UPA, and this is just me speculating, is going to come out with their own paddle regulations separate from USA Pickleball.
Oh, for sure.
And they're going to have their own governing body, and they're going to have their own regulations. Now, which one supersedes what? I mean, we're going to find out, but it would really suck if they weren't uniform in some way. Because you go to play an event, maybe you go play a PPA event and your paddle passes and you're good, and then you go play a USAP event.
I mean, I don't want to throw shade, but I heard that there was players that were playing in non-PPA tournaments, and the paddle testing there was essentially a joke. Yeah. They would test it, and if it failed, they'd give the paddle back to the person, and the person could literally use that paddle in matches if they wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah. See, like
the testing makes no sense. So now talking about the testing, how do we fix the testing? Do you think it's appropriate or okay that paddle manufacturers or players can bring in 20 or 30 paddles and have just one of those pass? Is that fine? I think they need to. The other thing is just to be clear, they give them a sticker, and we saw, not to throw anybody under the bus, so I won't say his name, but we just correctly learned how to pronounce it last week. We saw him take a sticker off of a paddle and put it on another paddle. In PPA's defense, It is a little bit more difficult. There are security like stickers, and so when you rip it off, a little bit stays behind. There are ways around it,
Yes.
and so it is a little bit more nuanced than that. But yes,
It is still a sticker.
it is still a sticker. Yes,
And so you can put that sticker on really any paddle that you want.
you could. Yeah, but if people were, yeah,
But point is, they've got to test exit velocity. They've got to test spin.
okay.
And those are the two biggest things.
Do you think paddle manufacturers should be fined or penalized if they have X amount of paddles fail?
I don't think they should be fined
Because that would actually stop these manufacturers from producing them.
That's true. I mean, I always thought that there was this rule that said that, essentially that the pros had to play with the same paddles that you get off the shelves as an amateur.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I always thought that was a rule, but I feel like that's not the case with some of these paddles.
Yeah, it's for sure not the case, but a lot of people believe that. I mean, Lucy Kovalova for sure very strongly agrees with that you should be able to go to a store, buy that paddle, and play with it.
Which, by the way, I've seen her do. I saw her at Nationals walk into Pickleball Central and grab an Onyx off of the shelf.
But then people compare it to tennis, where there's a lot of tennis players that just paint the paddle, we're seeing it now in pickleball where people just paint the skin.
Well, he's doing it the opposite. Yeah. He's actually... dumbing down his paddle, but Ben's paddle is.
So what do we start finding these companies?
I think you have to find them. But the problem is how do you find a company if there's no universal standards that have been released yet? Yeah. UPA has to come out with universal standards. Yeah. They need to come. This is my thought. They need to come up with a paddle testing machine that can be duplicated.
Well, they do have machines that can be duplicated,
but they need that. And each one of these paddle manufacturers
needs to have access to
access to that machine. Yeah. And then they need to tell them what the standards are, and their paddles have to pass those standards.
Yep.
And any paddle that doesn't pass those standards is taken and destroyed.
Yep.
Burned at the stake. But they have to do something like that because otherwise people are just going to keep pushing the bar further and further and further. And
there needs to be something done. Also, this is just me personal, but it is so annoying having to get your paddle tested every single day.
Yeah, for sure.
Every single day. You have to leave it overnight or take it. And there's so many players and there's only one group of people testing paddles. It could take up to 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah. And then at the end of the tournament, you get a box back of 40 paddles that.
Yeah, there needs to be something done. And I'm not necessarily blaming the paddle testers or even PPA, but something needs to get done.
It just needs to be uniform standards. Yeah. Exactly. And I think but now here's the other question. There's a limit. There's a fine line because what is best for viewing and best for your TV audience? Because I think that matters. And are we at that limit now where the paddles are powerful enough that it's exciting, but they're not too powerful that...
it's interesting because even right now where we have by far the most powerful paddles, I would honestly say close to 40 to 50% compared to last year. I don't even know if that still translates on TV. It still doesn't look that exciting in terms of power.
Up the power.
We need to up it even more.
Do we need to up it even? Because truly,
I'm joking. We do not need to up it more.
But truly, the sport.
But it's a wiffle ball.
But TV viewing matters. That does need to be taken into because what's more if you're a casual viewer, right? What are the points that are going viral? And we talked about this on our Connor Garnett podcast.
I don't think it's the speed, it's the chaos. When people are running around, placing the balls, everything like that. I think those are the ones that go viral.
Power paddles cause that chaos.
Not necessarily.
Do you want to watch J-Dub and Dylan dink with Ben and Colin?
But that's not because of their paddles. That's because of their style.
It is because of their style, but I think the paddles help with that too because I feel like when you have a powerful paddle, you're more confident. You're going to pull the trigger more.
J-Dub has a very powerful paddle. Okay, Dylan has a powerful paddle.
He uses Selkirk.
J-Dub?
Dylan.
Yeah, and the paddle he uses is pretty powerful.
It's okay. It's nothing compared to what's
It's not in the top 3 or 4, but it's probably top 8, top 10 most powerful paddles.
15.
What I'm saying is I don't think the power translates into TV if that's what you're going for, entertaining.
Yeah, well, but I think the game style has changed because of the power paddles, and that translates to TV. Yeah. Right?
I play a crazy point and I'm like, okay, I got to go back and watch this. And I go back and watch it and it's like, okay, I feel like it was
as crazy as it did on the court.
I feel like it was
Your heart rate wasn't even up. You're like, why was I so tired after that? I need to get in better shape.
Exactly. All right. We have a couple questions. We just opened up the questions like an hour ago.
Real quick before the questions, one more we have. So in our sponsorship with the Pickler, they have their own
clothing brand. Yeah.
Which you and I both wear a lot of. Stack.
Yes.
This is a Stack hat. That's a Stack hat. They have DJ Young. They have Angie and Alex Walker signed. They have Michael Lloyd.
Yeah.
And I went to their offices because I wanted to learn more about them. And the one thing that I just say, and I'll just make this very brief, that I love about Stack is Stack embraces everything that tennis hates about pickleball, right? Tennis is the country club, the rich kid, the trust fund baby, right? Stack is that dude that started the $1 billion business in his garage without a college education.
Yeah.
Pickleball is, and Stack is synonymous with that.
Yeah.
Right. So they they have those shirts that are, Rebel noise ordinance rebel, right? Because pickleball, the complaint is it's loud, right? Well, we embrace it. We love that it's loud. We love that's freaking soothing for pickleball players. And so Stack has the best part about Stack is it's pickleball specific athletic attire
made by pickleball players for
pickleball players. And one cool thing on their new line, they have freaking pockets in the back to hold your pickleballs while you play.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yep.
Tennis players, they put it under their skirts or whatever.
Yeah.
They have pockets. So check out Stack Athletics. We actually have a code, KOTC. It's actually a pretty big code right now because they're closing out their stuff before their new lines. So go check it out. They have hats. They have tank tops, shirts, anything you can think of. We're huge fans. They have 1 million socks. We love Stack, so go check them out.
Go check them out. Really, really cool designs. All right, moving on. We have a couple questions. Like I said, we just opened it up an hour or two before this, so we don't have too many that came in. One of this is PPA related, so we'll probably get into this a little bit more for next podcast that we do. But somebody said, will Tardio and Diescu have worse results once the PPA players have played them more?
Yeah. The Johns brothers, definitely. Against the Johns brothers, for sure.
Well, they're 2-0 against them.
They are, but I think Colin and Johns will figure out the chaos a little bit. And I think that's the best way to describe their style is chaos. But, Tardio's been around for a long time. Diescu's been around for even longer. So, do I think that the Johns brothers will figure them out a little bit? Yes. But do I think everybody else, they'll still have success against most teams? Yeah. They're just a good team.
Okay. USA Pickleball rules say any material that creates a trampoline effect is X.
Yeah.
How does Yola get by this or any other paddle manufacturer?
Yeah. So that's the big question that we kind of discussed a little bit is I don't think that they're turning a blind eye to it. I just think that
I just don't think they know how to handle it.
They don't know how to handle it.
The technology is so new.
Yeah. And it's not a secret that Yola is a huge player, and Ben Johns and Anna Bright and Rachel Rohrbacher. Maybe not. No. Is Rachel using Yola? She's using Selkirk. I can't remember.
Selkirk. Yeah.
Anna Bright.
Yeah.
Colin Johns. The number of players using Yola is through the roof right now. And so it's a tough problem for any, can you ban the best player in the world's paddle? I guess you can, yes. But Yola there millions of dollars are sinking into pickleball. And so without any specifications, I'm sure Yola went to them and said, hey, you guys didn't give us anything.
Yeah.
So we made these.
Yeah. Somebody said, did Tyler pay his ticket?
Oh, yeah. How much was it?
$135.
What? For rolling through a stop sign?
For not stopping 100% when I stopped
St. George City.
Yeah.
Dude, by the way, true story. On my way here today.
You get a ticket?
Guy pulls up behind me, all blacked out, Kia Optima. Kia Optima. Pulls up right behind me. I'm like, and he starts like tailgating me. So me thinking like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, hits his lights, has freaking lights in the headlights, and then he goes around me and takes off. But I thought I was getting pulled over, number one. Number two, we got cops rolling in Kia Optimas now.
Were they blacked out?
Blacked out, yeah. Completely blacked out Kia Optima. You would never know it was a cop. It looked like a 16-year-old whose dad bought him his first car, and he thinks he's cool with 12-inch subs in the back.
Okay. All right, 2 more questions. Will the structure BT between 5.0 and Pro have to evolve as the number of players blows up, especially juniors?
Yeah.
I mean, you're already seeing it now. So technically, the highest duper that I'm aware of is Ben Johnson. He's actually over 7.
Yeah, for sure.
And when it first started, it was maybe like 6.5. So those numbers are going to increase.
5.0 is not 5.0 anymore.
Yeah.
5.0 is not a 5.0 like when we started. 5.0's right. 5.0, like if you look at the scale of things, 5.0 is really like a 4.5 or even less. 4.25.
Well, I think there's still 5.0s. It's just the higher end.
That's what I'm saying. The higher end. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm just saying if you go from a 0 to a 5.0 scale, and 5.0, when 5.0 was the top, that's all adjusted. The other thing that I think really is going to have to change as the sport grows is you're going to see local, like that you do in golf. There's going to be local qualifiers for players to even get a chance to play in a
PPA just announced for Atlanta. Granted, this is one of their slams or cups or whatever it is, but they increased the main draw to like 48 players or something like that, whereas it was 32 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so there's only 8 players that are getting buys to the 32 rather than 16.
I think we'll see that. And then the second thing we're going to see is like literally, so say Atlanta's coming up, right? They're going to have local qualifiers in your city, and you're going to have to win that local qualifier to go play in the qualifier.
How far out are we? 1 year?
A year minimum. That's it though.
Yeah.
I think that like, or I should say maximum.
Yeah, maximum.
Yeah. Because there's enough players now.
Okay.
So that'd be kind of sick though, right? Like win your local qualifier.
Yeah.
Then you go play.
I mean, that's what tennis does. They have like satellites and qualifiers.
Yeah.
And
I think that's where pickleball's headed. There's just too many players.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Last question. Somebody said, can MLP players play in good old local tournaments, or do contracts prevent them?
Contracts prevent them, unfortunately.
For MLP players?
Oh, if you're MLP only?
If you're MLP.
You can, but you have to give 80% of your prize money or something like that.
Yeah.
Everyone's contracts are different, but I believe they have to give 80% of their prize money. Did you know that there's a list of MLP players? And I shouldn't say this. And they have the ones that didn't get drafted and have days to give.
So I heard, continue.
They have to go do like scorekeeping
and bus driving,
op stuff.
Yeah.
Like they have to go to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And they don't have a team backing them to cover they get like the regular normal stipend. And they have to go work.
So I heard that, but I was talking to one of those players and he's not going to MLP Atlanta. So maybe he's only going to a couple of them, but he's not going to Atlanta. So I don't know if that's not true or just a little bit different.
Interesting.
Okay. Right. Anything else, Jimmy?
No, I'm pumped. MLP's back this week.
Okay.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah, stay tuned. We got some cool, exciting videos coming out this week. I think we're talking to one of the manufacturers on a release of their new paddle. Exciting times. If you made it this far, please do us a big favor. Hit that like and subscribe button. It helps
push Hawaii.
This. Yeah.
He
wants to come on the show.
Let's have him come on.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'd love to talk to him about his results this year.
Okay. Big shout out to our sponsors. This show would not be possible. Please do us a favor and check them out if you're in the market for any of the products they make. The Pickler, Pickleball Central, C&D Pickleball Nets, Vulcan Pickleball, and also Stack Athletics.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, guys. See ya.